What's up, everyone? Welcome to Latino Theater Company Live. My name is Javi. You just watched a beautiful collage video I created with the help of our techs. What is that? Welcome. So here we are. We just wanted to get you started, and I wanted to end it up with that beautiful photo of a heart by our technical director, Wayne, who is joining us, everyone. Your petition worked. Everybody, we got, I think, over 1 million signatures. He's in the green room right now, getting ready, makeup and everything prepped as we get ready for this. But I'm excited to join you. I'm actually going to introduce first Ivan Robles here. He's my producer, editor. He's also assistant technical director. Is that right?
That's right.
Ivan? That's right.
Yep.
So he's helping me out behind the scenes as we navigate this Latino Theater Company Live here for you all. And let's get to it. This is an exciting talk that we're going to have. It's our first one having multiple people, more than two. And I'm excited because it includes not all, but a part of our technical staff. If you've been to our theater, you may be seeing them walking around with their branded T-shirts. And here they are. I'm gonna bring everybody in as we welcome. And ladies, there he is.
There he is.
How's everybody doing?
We're good. We're good.
It's good to see everyone. How's everybody?
Good.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good. Look at Wayne. Wayne, how are you doing, Wayne?
I'm doing well.
You know, we had to do a petition to bring you on.
Yeah.
How's everybody holding up? What's everybody been up to? Wayne, did you have that beard before quarantine?
On and off.
Somewhat?
I tend to not shave very often.
Look at Noah. I just saw a photo of Noah. So everybody, let's go around and introduce everybody. We'll start with to my left. All right.
It's me? Yeah. Ivan Robles, Assistant Technical Director for the Los Angeles Theater Center and the Latino Theater Company.
Jose Manuel, JM, one of the audio lackeys.
I am Catherine Velasco. I go by Kat, and I am one of the stagehands at the LATC.
All right.
I'm Noah Gamboa. I'm a lighting tech at the Los Angeles Theater Center. Oh, sorry, Wayne.
Oh, wow. I think you might get fired now.
Fired.
The less I talk, the better.
All right. Yeah. So you're probably good. Go ahead, Noah. Sorry. Or who was next?
That's it.
That's
Yeah.
it. Oh my God,
Say it
that's it,
again,
right?
no.
No,
Say it one more
yeah. So, as most of you have seen, we've started this virtual talks with our Latino Theater Company. We sort of did everybody from the company, and this coming Friday we have the entire company joining us for a happy hour at 7 o'clock this Friday. So grab a glass of your favorite drink, cocktail, and join us as we have a good conversation with the company, all the chisme and everything that you want to hear about them, their process and how they work. But today, especially, it's dedicated to our technical staff. And one of the things that is unique about our technical staff, as you already see, is very different from most theaters or event centers across the country. It's very diverse. We have women too, which is amazing, which you don't get to see. But I want to go around and just go a little background. And how'd you get started doing this? How'd you get started doing tech work, like this type of work? What got you started? Anybody?
Well, I'll start.
Yeah.
So I actually started as an internship at the LATC. I was 17
Wow,
years
okay.
old. Yeah, so it goes back. It goes
Was
back.
this Paul or something else?
It was with some of our old techs. It was Wayne. I met Wayne when I was 17. One of our techs, Patsy and Jonathan, were there. But you guys welcomed me into your home and you taught me something that I had no idea about. I didn't have the slightest clue about tech work. I didn't know anything, but you guys welcomed me into your home, and from then on, I'm stuck. This is what I'm doing for the rest of my career.
Hey, Kat, how did you hear about that program, or how did you come across the theater?
One of the technicians actually a while back had worked at your theater, and we went to the same high school. So he wanted to share that experience of live theater and live tech work. And he reached out and he says, do it. And I said, yeah, absolutely. I would love to do this. It sounds amazing.
That is so cool. I mean, just to hear that. I know, Noah, you started in a similar way as Kat, is that right?
Noah's having a hard time.
Noah can't hear you, so I'm going to repeat the question for you. Noah, you started in a similar way as Kat did, right?
Yeah, definitely. I had an aunt that worked at the theater, and she introduced me to Ivan and Wayne and the former ME there, and I was just started working with them week by week, and I got to learn more and more until I got good enough to start working there.
Can't hear you now.
I hear you now.
Now we can't hear you, Javi. There you go.
Can you hear me now better?
Yeah, a little bit.
I don't think Noah can hear me, right? So, right?
No, I don't think Noah can hear you still.
I can hear Javi still.
Can you ask him a question?
What was your question right now?
You started when he was like 15, 16, right?
You started when you were 15 or 16?
Yeah, I started when I was 16 years old.
16 years old.
That's cool. JM, how did you start doing this type of work?
I was a late bloomer. I actually started in college. I got lucky and met the right people who were actually friends of Wayne's and probably Ivan's too from back in the day. And, you know, they took me under their wing and eventually they prepped me. And one day I just get a call randomly from Ivan and he's like, hey, are you available? I'm like, sure. And it turns out, you know, my mentor had passed my name to Ivan. That's how I got my start.
Who was your mentor?
Chris Flores.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And so you had done this type of work before?
A little bit, not fully as much as I wanted it, but enough to get me to really get the grasp of the concept. It was LATC who taught me how to do way more than I had known. Mainly, I was solely audio, but these guys went and took me under their wing and threw me everywhere else.
Oh, that's amazing. I know that I met actually Ivan. I think I forget how old you were, but I was doing a show at the Shakespeare Center LA with Cornerstone. How old were you then, Ivan?
I forget how old you were. I was probably 17 years old.
Wow. And then was that like one of your first like tech jobs?
Yeah, about one of them. Yeah, I was already working at the Shakespeare Center as like a site rep for film and stuff. And I was also kind of helping them out with their like music program that they had there.
Right.
So, but yeah, that's when I started transitioning over to tech work.
And what brought you into the LATC?
Wayne did. I think that's gonna be like our center is Wayne. So when I was working at Shakespeare Center, my sister was the program director or for the youth and education department, and she knew Wayne and Roger, who Roger's Wayne's brother, And so they've been doing tech work forever, and she kind of helped me get to know them and pass my name along so that I could get some work.
Wow.
Yeah.
And last but not least in this world, Wayne, how did you come in contact with this type of work, like behind the scenes stage work? Or have you always been like an amazing actor?
Yeah, he created this type of work.
Yeah, that old. No, I think for me, I was actually in junior high school, and I was actually in the chorus, and I was doing a performance and saw the guys backstage and all the stuff they were doing, and I thought that looked like more fun than singing. So I ended up jumping on that program back in junior high school, and been doing it ever since.
Wow, you were doing like tech work in high school?
Yeah, so back there, we were like build sets and run the shows, and spotlight ops, lighting ops. So whatever the events needed, we were a part of, or we took care of.
Wow, that's amazing. What's one of the things that I mean, JM was saying that you learned a lot of new things. Kat, you started learning sort of the technical work with LATC. I'm assuming Noah and Ivan the same thing. What's one thing? I'm sure there's tons in regard to tech work that you're loved and you're passionate about. Like you love doing it because this. We can start with Kat.
I think one of my favorite things before I started doing tech work at 17, I used to attend shows. I was in the audience and I had no idea how everything was built. So I went from being an audience member to seeing something come from nothing to something extravagant and beauty. And I also had the opportunity to work with artists where they present to you their idea and their passion, and they give that to you and they trust you to help you bring that to life. And I think that's definitely my favorite thing, is seeing something come to life from an empty stage to just, bam, we did it. So that's definitely my favorite thing.
JM?
My favorite thing has always been more about the moment, being able to say you were a part of not just one person, but everybody's experience that night or however long a show may run. Because I really came more from a concert background. So I really dug that once in a lifetime moment. And that's what made it more special for me and wanting to be a part of this type of industry.
Yeah. Ivan, what do you think?
I think I'm going to also go along with what Kat was saying. The first show that I remember watching was like in the 5th grade, and I watched The Tempest at the California Plaza.
Oh, wow.
I always was intrigued by how that happened. It's an outdoor stage.
Yeah.
The lighting was amazing. The sound was great. And I'm also a musician. So like I started kind of like playing music, play with mics, and I started figuring out that those two things kind of had a lot of things in common. And when I realized that I could do audio and music for theater, that's kind of what really made it really special for me, because I just love making new things and making music. So it was awesome for me.
Wayne, what's one thing that you like about doing this work?
I think for me is getting to meet all the new technicians and the fact that you get to, especially we got a really great group of guys and girls working for us now, but to kind of see how they all interact and relate with each other and work with each other. I think that to me is really special.
Yeah. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Oh, perfect. Awesome. So thank you. Awesome. That worked. See, I'm an actor, but I know a thing or two. So we were going around, just sort of talking about what you're passionate about this type of work, in terms of like the technical behind the scenes. What do you like about it?
I think for me, I started off, the first thing I ever did was work on a light board. I just was shown how to program and stuff like that. And I just thought that was really cool. I loved being able to turn on lights and control them with a computer. That was really awesome to me. And so with that, my passion for lighting started. And then after that, it just kind of slowly worked into okay, I'm learning how to hang and focus lights, how to design a little bit. And I like lighting so much. And then obviously from there, I trickle into all the other technical departments as well. But,
wow. I know Ivan said we all know Ivan has a band. I think JM, you play guitar too, is that right?
No, bass.
No, bass. Sorry. Have any of you all, you've performed on stage. Have you ever performed as an actor on stage? Anybody? We'll go around.
A long time ago, in middle school and high school, I was also at Plaza de la Raza, which is a lot of people know from the northeast side. But yeah, that's when I did it. It ended for me because I just kind of like music better. Acting, it took a lot for me. I don't think I had the bravery to do it.
Right. Yeah. Anybody else?
I mean, I did something in elementary school, but props to you, Javi, because acting is something else. I'm gonna leave that to you, but yeah, I think I dappered in a little bit, but I definitely prefer being backstage.
Wayne, JM, you guys?
I never caught the acting bug. I was always I wanted to be a technician or a stunt guy, one or the other.
But you've performed with your band on a stage?
Yeah, that's correct. I've played in numerous stages.
Wayne, did you ever perform on a stage ever?
Just for that, in junior high, I sang, but that's about it. In the chorus.
You sang? If anybody has that video, please email us.
There was no videos back then. There was no phone cameras back then.
Were there cameras?
There was no cameras back then.
I don't even know if there was video cameras back then.
One of the things that's unique about the LATC that it's a multi-venue performing center. What are some of the challenges that come with that? I mean, there's Wayne, correct me if I'm wrong. There's 3 main stages, right? And then there's 2 smaller ones. And then sometimes our lobby serves as the stage. What are some of the challenges? And we'll go across the screen here. What are some of the challenges that come with and the successes of having a multi-venue center from a technical perspective?
Well, I think for me, it's really the staffing it in terms of the technical crew for it. But like I said, we have a really good group of people working. And the one thing that I really try to, or at least I push, is that, we're all willing to help each other out. So having the multiple venues going, gives everybody, who may not know as much an opportunity to sit behind the board, and yet maybe Noah's in another room or Kat's in another room, and they kind of can get their training wheels going a little bit, before they're actually completely on their own.
Yeah. What's anybody else have anything to add to that? The challenges or even successes of working at the LATC that has a multi venues, like 3 centers. Sometimes I think there's technical or feedback. And anybody want to speak on in regards to that?
Yeah, and as far as lighting goes, there's a lot of different special things about each space. They all have their own way that the lights are hung. All the dimmers kind of act a little differently in the spaces. There's different boards in each space, so you have to know how to use all that stuff. And there's different ways of planning out how you're going to do stuff there. So it definitely presents a lot of challenges as far as that goes. But as long as you know the spaces, it works out well.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of the unique. Not a lot of people know, or if you've been to the center, we're, aside from being this historic building on one side, the theater is this huge, major concrete building, right? And as we move into this era, virtual stuff, I think there's like Wi-Fi, sometimes even connection, or even JM. Is that something that you come across?
More of my issues have always been sound, so I gotta coordinate. If usually if we do have all the spaces being used, there usually be another sound tech in another room, usually either Josh or Six, somebody, and we gotta make sure that he's not bleeding into my room and my room to his. You don't want to have a quiet play happening at the same time as there's a concert on the other, but we'll
right.
to each other and be like, hey, so this is what's gonna happen around this time, or hey, this, so we could ballpark each other. And that's what I love too, because like Wayne was saying earlier, we're all close to each other. We'll be like, hey man, this is happening soon. I might need your help for this. Can you come to this, theater here and switch over there? We can for something. And we would do that. It was always a helping hand between each other. That's one of the challenges, but also it's one of its strengths that the theater has. The fact that we have that key communication amongst us as a tech and kind of a crew, more of a family-ish, I would say. Yeah. That's one of the things that I think out of that weakness became a strength for the theater.
Yeah. Definitely. And that's something that I want to add. One of the things, as I've been in conversation with the Latino Theater Company, and how they got together and how they work and what's their process. I see that as an actor, and as you were mentioning, I see that from you guys from you all as technical, the communication and the feedback and then working along each other is reflected. I mean, I think that it's I mean, I think even from the photos that we saw, that it doesn't end when you leave the theater, right? I mean, some of you have gone out and you've played softball together. There's the what's the team called?
Los Techies.
Los Techies, the Techies softball team. But also, you know, going to eat together. I mean, that's one of those things, right? Being there you go, Los Techies with jerseys. I think that's one of the coolest things. Of the our tech team is one of the most branded team in our staff. Maybe I gotta get branded T-shirts for everybody in our. You represent well. There you go. Some beautiful photos of everybody. But what is that? I mean, I think that you see that one of the things that's interesting, I mean, and that I appreciate when I started working at the LATC, I started as an actor, of course, but I actually started doing a lot of graphic design. And when I became full-time for a moment in my career there, my office was in the tech booth, and everybody's like, well, what does that guy do? But you know, I wasn't a techie, but one of the things was that I missed that. I missed when I used to work for another office at a t-shirt manufacturer. You know, I had that camaraderie of like, oh, let's go out to drink, or let's go. We talk about things, and it was involved. And I see that with you all in that little office. Just the homie, the family, the love, right? Even with the issues as issues come in from like, oh, you know, we didn't know that this company wanted this or we wanted that. What's the difference that you think from the LATC, from other places that you work, that you guys all, you know, come together and get along? What's something is that, you know, that where does that come from, you think? Anybody?
I mean, I really think it's you know, it's just everybody kind of being open and not feeling like they need to, that there's anything to prove. I think everybody should feel, and I try to make everybody feel that you know, their jobs are safe. I know that, you know, in other theaters that I've worked at, you know, that was one of the main things. A lot of technicians didn't want to show you how to do anything because they felt that if I showed you how to do what I know or what my job is, you know, next week I may not get called back.
Right.
And, you know, I try to keep the same guys coming back, you know, as much as possible, and then bring in, you know, other people to kind of fill in the other jobs, because there are so many spaces to work at, and there are times where we have multiple shows going on. But I think, you know, it's just really the fact that, you know, everybody should feel comfortable, or I try to make everybody feel comfortable in their job, and, you know, in the job itself, I guess.
Yeah. No, I know that one of the first projects, well, when we met you, I think it was our first Encuentro. Is that right? Or Encuentro 2014? Or
no, I started after that.
Before that?
I started after that.
After that, right. Did anybody work the Encuentro 2014? Or you worked the newer one? That, I mean, I remember just, you know, that was the entire venue. I think the recent one too. I mean, you worked all the venues. I can't remember the last thing that we did, that we had all the venues going on, and there's more team. I mean, I think we're missing 3 people that were going to join us, but there's more of a bigger team. What are some of your favorite projects to have worked inside the building? We'll go around. Kat.
It was Encuentro. 2018 was definitely, oh my goodness, it was so mind-blowing and beautiful. But yeah, every single space that you could possibly imagine was up and running. It was almost never empty. And one of the coolest things about that, and to kind of go back to why the LATC is so different and how we make it work, you just enter the Latino Theater Company and the LATC, and it just feels like home. It doesn't make you feel funny or uncomfortable. You just feel at home. And I think that's what makes our team so unique and special, is that we're there to make something happen. We're there to work, and we're gonna go out to dinner after, and we're after a 16-hour shift, because that's what a lot of Encuentro was. Right. We're working long shifts, and we'd still go out after and hang out and have dinner and have drinks. But Encuentro was definitely one of the hardest things I've ever done, but also one of the most fulfilling things I've done, because I got to work with everyone, and we were constantly running around and making things work. And definitely Encuentro is one of the things that I'm going to remember for the rest of my life, and I really can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, spirit. Noah or JM or Wayne, what's one of your favorite projects that you've worked on in the building?
I think Encuentro for me was also pretty great. I think I was in charge of maintaining the lighting for all the spaces, so it was a lot of stress on my part, and I learned a lot from that. And I think that's why I think I would prefer that, just because I learned so much. I was just starting to kind of run things and learning how to manage the entire building. That was a good way to learn a lot of it.
JM, you're gonna say?
I think the event, I don't remember what it was called. Wayne, try to correct me. The one with the college kids where we used all the venues, or not the college kids, the younger kids that were learning how to use tech.
Get Lit?
No, not Get Lit. That one too. I love. Oh, Get Lit's emotional to me though.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. You know what? I'm gonna change my answer completely. It's Get Lit.
I know. I think
Get Lit.
It's the other.
The ACTF festival, the college festival.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Why?
That
Why?
was my favorite.
Why that?
Because we had a lot of younger kids and all that would come up to some of us after we were done setting up their stuff, and they would come bombard us with questions of like, oh, so these are kids that just want to be on the next level, and they see us and you're like, you're a professional. I'm just like, sometimes you don't know that. I'll beat around, I'll be like, but I loved answering their questions. I loved all that. It reminded me of when I started, and I was like, this is the process that forever makes it worth it to me. So that's why that's the gig that I enjoy. Get Lit is more of my favorite because it's the first gig I ever did at LATC. And but that one, ACTF, is that what it is? It's the one that I like forever. I will always like love because of that.
That's I've seen some of those projects that are like multiple, that all our spaces are used, like Encuentro, like Get Lit and all that stuff. And it's I see that when it's crowded. I was talking to the company a couple of days ago. I was looking at photos of Encuentro, of other events, and I was crying. I was just like, man, we had some good times, like it's what's one of those things that I know that as we were talking, our industry in regards to theater, it's one of the hardest. It's been one of the not hardest hit, but it's up there. Most people are saying, oh, we're gonna go back, we're gonna do curbside pickup, or we're gonna do less, or we're gonna do virtual world. What are one of those things that that you all are missing, or the struggle of being someone in the tech field? Even in this time, or even when we were on, what are some of the challenges that you see, even as a person of color, technical crew? Anybody? Welcome back, Ivan.
Well, I think after all this madness, I think one of the things I miss the most is the people. Whether it's a 99-seat theater, whether you have something going on in the lobby, or whether Theater 1 is completely packed to the masses. I think regardless of how many people are attending one of our events, the love that you feel is so overwhelming in the best way. And I think that's what I miss the most is the people. And you get to meet all these people that you've never met before, and you might not cross paths because everyone's so busy. It's downtown LA. Right. But I think that's one of the hardest things. But on the bright side, though, when we come back, it's going to take a while. But when we come back, we're going to come back and love harder, work harder, and it's going to be good. But for the meantime, I definitely miss everyone. It's good to see everyone's faces virtually. Yeah, but I do miss a lot of people.
That's one of I love hearing that, because there's always this like ongoing. I never find it true, but it's like an ongoing, like kind of like you would say like, oh, actors and techies, we don't get along, and all this different thing, right? Like you see, and then I was like, no, it's just like, or you see me trying to wrap a cable, and you're like, okay, dude, don't do it like that. It's tough love. But one of the things that I love about what you just said is that, especially in our building, is that our audience gets to see our tech, and you see that like, oh, that, because of you're wearing the t-shirts and stuff like that, but they're also as actors, we have this communication, we have this friendship, community, that it starts even with the rehearsal room, like when Jose Luis is in the rehearsal room, or anybody that walks into our building. As you said, Kat, you're part of this family already upon walking into it. And I just love hearing that, people at the end of the show, I don't remember going up to anybody like, at any other theater, but it happens at the LATC because we both work alongside each other in the same team. Ivan, we were talking about some of our favorite projects within the LATC. Can you remember one that's yours?
I don't know if there's like a particular project, but I do remember enjoying and also like suffering so much doing Encuentro, both Encuentros. But the challenge is probably what made it super worth it. And to be working with all these incredible technicians and to be working under the supervision of Wayne, just learning new things every day, and to take on something like that. I had never done a huge festival like that. And it was definitely daunting, but at the end of it, it was super satisfying. So that's probably one of the best experiences I had, or best projects I worked on.
We make it work. I mean, as you can see, the hashtag there. Where did that come from? And most people are probably like, what does that mean? But you've used that hashtag in several of the projects. What does that mean to you?
Well, I just took it and ran with it. It's actually Wayne's hashtag.
Oh, okay.
He came up with it. I don't think you remember. Sometimes he just says things and we're just listening. But a lot of times, like, I was just saying, we have huge challenges throughout live theater and like trying to make set designs come to life, or like just anything happen, right? The magic of theater. And a lot of times it seems like it's impossible, but we always try to find a way, and so we make it work.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I know that, even with Encuentro, you come, one of the things that's interesting as we look back, right? Like sometimes projects just land on our desk like tomorrow. It's like, we got to build this set, or things have to happen. I think one of the things that was like unique is like we were so prepped for this year. I mean, we had calendars, we had graphics, we had all kinds of things to just crumbling down, and we're all trying to figure it out. I know that as Kat was mentioning, when we go back, and we will go back, and it's going to take time. What's one thing that you're looking forward to? I mean, I know that some of you work not only as like in theater, but in other venues. Noah, are you still in school right now?
Yeah, I am in college as well.
College, right? So I mean, it was one of those things when they come back in fall. What's one of the things you're looking forward to in terms of just like being in the space, or even the technical work? Anybody?
Just getting my job done again.
Yeah, right.
Just being able to touch the lights and and just help out and work with all the crew again. That's all stuff I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. JM?
I mean, what I look forward to is, honestly, it sounds so weird, but the chaos. Yeah. It's just that it's a weird love-hate thing. It's the chaos is what makes it kind of fun. We sometimes have had shows that go so well, and we're like, this is boring.
Right.
that initial need of wanting to fix something kicks in, and that's what makes it more fun and interesting. Because people will never see that, only we do, and that's the beauty of it. Because like, it's a weird thing that I will never ever want to give up. And
right, I was talking to someone. I was mentioning I love that the tech process, right? Like, I mean, when it's chaos and stress and people are like going crazy and things aren't working, but we somehow make it work, right? I mean, there's something we make it work, and there's always. I mean, I think you learn from that process. As Kat, Noah, I think JM, you were mentioning you've learned from doing it, right? From doing the work. And that's one of the unique things about the LATC. We have two programs. One is PAW, which is Play at Work, which is high school youth through maybe start of college come in to the building and shadow our technicians, lighting, sound, stage management, and that type of work. And then end up going to work at other theater centers, or even our own, and even our summer youth conservatory. There's a lot of youth that maybe they don't want to be in front of on stage, but they want to be behind the stage. I know that Noah, I think you taught some Paul youth. Kat, I'm not sure, Kat or JM, if you did. What's something unique? I mean, from being a kind of like a trainee intern to a teacher, how was that transition?
It's difficult, but it's fun. You're learning how to teach people, because obviously I had no teaching experience prior to doing it. So you realize like how to keep people engaged, and also finding what the students are interested in, and kind of teaching them more about that. You know, finding the students that are more interested in programming, you teach them, you go more into depth about programming, or if they're more interested in the actual hanging and focusing of lights, and you teach them that.
Right. Yeah. Kat and James, have you? Yeah.
So I just wanted to mention, Noah has taught me so much. I sometimes call him on the phone. I'm like, Noah, please help. I'm struggling. But from being so green, I remember this very distinctly. I remember not knowing what I was doing, but seeing other people being able to teach and being so knowledgeable in their career to the point where they can easily teach someone else their trade. And going from an intern to now, this is my career. This is what I'm best at. I have no plans at stopping. That whole process and transition has been just wonderful. And it feels really good to be able to teach people that walk into the theater or any other venue how to do something that at one point you had no idea what to do. And that's what I think outside of the LATC, a lot of people forget. No one came out of the womb, I'm a technician, I know how to, fix this. And there is, outside of the LATC, there is lots of hostile environments where they don't want to teach you. If you don't know how to do something, away with you. And that's not the vibe at the LATC. If you don't know how to do something, we're going to teach you and we're going to have fun doing it. And it's been something else to be able to teach other people how to do something that at one point I had not the slightest clue how to do. And I think that's something that's really important. And I still get to bug Noah and call him and ask him for help. So also that.
Oh, that's awesome. We're coming into 4:40. If you have comments, questions that you want to ask our technical staff here, please leave them in the comment section as we continue the discussion, and we'll pop them up here as we're continuing this conversation. This has been awesome. I mean, I think what has kept you busy in this time? I mean, I know that our entire spring season, summer is sort of shut down, and I'm assuming other venues have. Are you completely not doing? I mean, where would you work, right? Or you're doing maybe some of this type of stuff, like online virtual stuff, or what has kept you busy right now? We'll go across.
Well, if I have two kids, so they're actually doing school at home, and that takes up a lot of my time and a lot of this. Javi and I have been working on this weekly now for the past 3 weeks. So gathering images, archiving stuff. Like I'm still working from home, so I've been lucky with that.
Yeah.
I also get to spend a lot of times with my kids doing homework and remembering math and stuff like that.
Right.
So that's what I'm doing.
JM, what's keeping you busy right now?
Me, I ended up joining a band. I mean, despite anything, we have a lockout, so we go and rehearse there. We're actually trying to produce our album right now, taking advantage of the time that I'm doing anything, and at the same time, sadly, a lot of people that I know, they're audio people that I know and all that, their business has gone under because of this.
Yeah.
And I've gone and bought in their gear. Had
Are
fun.
Are you guys JM and the quarantines?
No.
No. What's keeping you busy right now?
Well, I'm still in school,
Okay.
and my college is all online, so I've just been doing a lot of classwork. I took on an extra class just to make sure I had the time.
What are you studying? What are you studying right now?
Well, I'm currently studying aeronautical science. That's my college degree is going to be in. I never plan to leave tech work, and I've chosen the kind of an industry where I could still always maintain a part-time tech job. And I love working at the LATC, so major economic work there.
Yeah, Kat, it's keeping you busy.
I've been reading a lot. I've been doing a lot of live streams, but during this time, I've also taken the time to kind of learn a little more about my trade, because the coolest thing about our job is learning never ends. It never
Yeah.
ends. There's always new technology. There's always new methods of how to do things. So currently ETC is offering free classes. If you want to learn how to do some lighting, they're offering classes until June 1st.
Cool.
Fender is also offering classes. So if you want to pick up a bass and jam with the 6 shooters, I'm just kidding. But if you want to learn how to play like ukulele or guitar, they're doing free classes. So that's really cool. These classes are typically really expensive. So if anyone's interested in learning a little bit about lighting, about music, there's those online classes. So I've been doing that and a bunch of reading. I've been doing that.
Nice. Wayne, I know you're dying to get back into the theater.
Yeah, I am actually.
What's
a lot of webinars, like Kat said, trying to learn as much as I can.
Yeah.
A lot of time, normally we don't have this kind of time, right? You're on stage or something like that. So kind of just trying to, catch up on a lot.
Yeah. Kat, I mean, this is and we'll get to that. I know it's you're not actually the only woman on our tech team. There was somebody else that was going to join us, but we have others. What's something that you see? There's our awesome. Yeah, that's a cool photo. Awesome tech crew. You don't see that, right? You see maybe in other platforms, but on our building, you see that. What's something unique about it in terms of like the LATC that you appreciate?
I appreciate that we have a very diverse crew. And honestly, it does hurt a little bit when I go to other venues. And not only am I the only woman there, I'm the only woman of color and I'm young. Usually a lot of the people that I meet at other venues are older. They immediately think you're dumb because you're young. They don't trust you for some reason because you're a woman, and it hurts. Yeah. It really hurts when you dedicate years of your life to perfecting your craft and someone just takes one glance at you and assumes that you don't know what you're doing. And it's something that collectively we at the LATC, Las Mujeres and the Hombres, collectively are working to change that. And I've seen such a difference, and I see more women coming in to the venue. And we have to do this together. If we don't work together, we're going to keep on living in this environment forever. So that's one of the coolest things about LATC is that we constantly have mujeres and mujeres of color come in, and we get down and dirty just with the guys. We'll have grease all over our hands, we'll have dirt all over our faces, and we're still gonna work together and work just as hard as everyone else. And I think that's one of the coolest things.
You guys are like up on the catwalk and dangling. And whoa. Yeah. This has been a great conversation. I'm gonna wait for a couple more questions as they come in. I know I see one here. But Wayne, you're doing some webinars. Has anybody seen theater? Have you seen theater in this, like virtual theater? Has anybody seen a play? Or have you been hired, wanting to be hired to do a play like this?
Not at all.
Not yet, but I do know that PBS has been streaming some live Broadway. So if anyone's interested in live Broadway, there are some streaming websites I'll show you. Things that you probably, a lot of people don't get the opportunity to see live Broadway shows because sometimes it's expensive. People don't have time. They have kids or whatever may be the issue. But if you guys do want to see some live Broadway, PBS is offering it, and other independent theater companies are offering opportunities, so you can get a little bit of culture.
Yeah, cool. I'm gonna open it up to some questions right now. But as I just sort of scan through them, Wayne or whoever can answer this. What's a good way? I think it's a part of a question also for folks to get involved, not just in technical work, but get in contact with you and wanting to be someone once we open up. How can you reach out to you, Wayne, or anybody? How can they be a technical work in this technical field?
Well, for us at LATC, we're it could just be as easy as an email to us, myself, or even Ivan, I guess, or even info at the LATC. But it's really I think for the most part we like to get recommendations from other technicians because the main thing for me is just that they're willing. I think a lot of the stuff like we've all been talking about, we're willing to teach. It's just a matter of if they're willing to learn and be there.
I mean, I think that's one of the unique things. It's not about just hiring your friends. I mean, because you make them your friends, even if they're not your friends. I think that's
It's part of the job requirements is they have to become my
you're going to
friend.
be my friend. That's because we become friends. I mean,
The only way I know how.
and then, yeah, you know that. I mean, anybody. I mean, it's dangerous work also. I mean, so you gotta. I mean, it's have trust in someone that they're just not going to come in and just like we're going to goof off. You're dealing with sometimes celebrities or professional, and you're
Calm down, Javi.
you know,
Are you talking about yourself?
talking about myself right now. You're dealing with Javi, who just barges into the technical. Where's my mic pack? I'm out in 5 minutes. Or I go to the restroom and my mic pack is on. Oh, or you fall in love. Who knows? Let's see. We'll open it up. JM just says you need more lighting on your face. Sad to say, I think you're a lighting designer. Oh, there you go. Yeah. See, they missed it. They make it work. Jonathan says he misses you all.
Oh,
We miss you
damn.
too.
Yeah. So,
And then someone's dad. I don't know who's. Is that dad? I don't get it.
That's my son. He's
That's your other.
that's my son.
Wayne Jose Luis is asking, what was the show that you sang in as a kid?
That I sang in? I have no idea. I think it was just a part of the choir. I don't remember what I sang.
Pack Street, or saying that this is making nostalgic backstage work. And this is a great question for high school kids. What are your recommendations as far as post-high school options if they are interested in tech aspect of theater or events? We'll go across. Who wants to answer that?
I think Wayne usually has a really good answer for this.
And what is it?
In the moment.
Well, also we do have you were mentioning the PAW program, which teaches the very, very basics of tools and lighting, sound, costuming, all that kind of stuff. That puts us in contact with the student, so we have one-on-one with them. But I think Wayne has also said just kind of like go around the theater, hang out, get to know the people there, volunteer, and just stick around. That's kind of a good way to really get to know people. And then there's the college route that Wayne did, right?
Is it?
Yeah, I did the college route. It took me a long time to get out of there, but I did do the college route.
Anybody want to add to that? Yeah.
All right. I mean, there's also, other places like for sure, when I was still in college, I did do that, hang around. I would go to the college theater and bug, Richard and Chris, like, hey, let me in. But aside from that, I also did work in the anime conventions, and they were always understaffed with tech. And some people there were pretty cool. Others, but they were always looking for people to learn tech to keep these things running. I made my way there, and now I have a good position. And there's always tech work out there. You just gotta kind of find it. It's so obscure out there, but it's there. And once you get your foot in there, it'll open up a lot of opportunities. Is
there any tech work right now that you know of?
Sadly,
outside of just like a physical theater venue, there's not, right? Sadly, I mean that's the unfortunate part. I mean, I think people really need. I mean, it's like, it's the sad part, right? It's like we're all waiting to go back and events. It's you have to be passionate about it, as everybody mean. I mean, it's hard work, but I think one of the things as Ivan was mentioning is that go and I say that the same with acting. People are always like, how can I audition? How can I get into that play? Go and introduce yourself, say hi to the team. And also, as an actor in high school, and this program is no longer around in the LUSD program, but fifth period in my high school was called Stagecraft, and I was a part of it. We built sets, we painted everything, and I think it was one of the most amazing things that I was a part of, because I got to learn how valuable that work is, and to step aside when they're doing that work. And it's like, I love doing it. It's not what I want to do, and when I see you all like involved, it's crazy. I tell my wife sometimes, like, oh, I want to go back. I want I want to go and do work there. You know, it's like, and they're like, no, but you're an actor. And I was like, I know, but they make it look so cool. It's like, I want to be a part of it. So definitely, you know, we have Paul, as Ivan was mentioning, we have the Summer Youth Conservatory, which is not only, the Summer Youth Conservatory is not only actor based or in front of the camera or on stage, it's also behind the scenes. It's a conservatory because it's all across the board: marketing, producing, directing, you know, the tech crew, everything behind the scenes. So I think getting involved in that sort of field. Well, this is sort of the same thing. How does one become an intern to learn tech stuff? Wayne, you sort of answered that. You can email Wayne at the LATC.
Just call us.
Or just call them, make them. I don't know if there's any more questions. We have Gabriel Barrera, who shout out. He was I think technical staff over scenic designer over at Oregon Shakespeare Festival. Shout out. He's been a big fan of Wayne and the work that you all fine folks do. He was around for Encuentro. He was really impressed by everything you all did. If you have a question, just type it in. We have a couple more minutes to answer your question. I had let me see what's how how do you get a shirt? Does it take a week or like do you have to like properly, like, you know, oh, I did it wrong, you see there, like wrap up a cable or how do you get a shirt? Am I even saying the wrong words?
You have to devote your undying loyalty to Wayne.
I got one and I don't even know where it's at, but you
have to take care of it. Be more responsible.
Staff and then like shirts for everybody. And I know Wayne has all the colors.
No, actually, no. I think some people.
Oh, you guys charge?
Only him.
Oh, Gabriel is mentioning the USITT conference. Does anybody know what that is?
That's the cop. Oh wait.
That's probably a technical conference.
Yeah. Well, what is he saying about that?
I think he's saying that you can also probably go to that and you get to. It's a institute.
Get a free T-shirt.
Oh no, the technical, like a path toward technical.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's like it's a conference, but I don't know. I guess that's the question.
You go learn.
Oh, got it.
Yeah. I know that. I mean, well, that's one of the things. You know, it's not just the technical work, but it becomes family. You guys have your softball team. Some of you play in the softball team. Some of the other stagehands that were going to join us, or some of them, they're also in the 6-shooters. Right, Ivan? There's 2 people, maybe.
Just one of our lighting guys is in my band, and he plays the bass, and his name is Caesar.
Oh, got it. So Gabriel said there's a good gateway program at UCIT. That's a
good one.
Oh, got it.
So yeah, there's a good program, gateway at USITT for technical. So you can check that out. I think it's usitt.org. You can find out more on that stuff. Thank you. I know. Yeah. So you do the softball. That's really cool. And then Jose Luis, you also did a bowling championship every year. Is that right?
Well, it used to be more than every year.
Oh, really?
And then I don't know who has it now.
Federico does.
Is it Fred?
Yeah, Fred has it.
We used to go a little bit more often, and we haven't gone, I want to say, in a couple of years.
Yeah.
Got to get that back going.
It's one of those things. People, I know I used to be a manager way back, and I think it's one of those things. It's like, or I used to be a teaching artist, and it's one of those things that you're like, oh, we're just gonna go hang out, but it's more than just hanging out, because the type of community that you're creating, community outside of the venue that later on is brought back to the theater. It's like you're having a good time, you're bowling. Ivan organized these awesome Dodger games with the LATC staff. There's a lot of really cool stuff like that I mean, it's like, where does that come from? Oh, someone just where does that come from? Like bowling and all that. The bowling, the softball.
I mean, we're a team, and anything that we can do. sorry, Jeff. And anything we could do together, just to like keep building that trust and that bond, it just really goes a long way. And anything that we like, if I like something, I want to like share that with everybody else, and maybe they find something that they haven't done before, like go to a Dodger game or see a movie they haven't seen or a show or a concert. So
yeah,
for me, that's what it is.
Definitely. So Jeff is the last one that Boeing. Gabe is also saying he has resources to connect people across the country, so people can always contact to him. I can send you his info. He probably shares it through here. ScenicG, I think, .com. But he's a great resource. He can tell you more about a wonderful program he was running. But he also, I think, Gabe, if you're still on, we'll bring you on next time. That'll be awesome. But teaching youth, I mean, that's one of the good things. I always tell people, it's like, a lot of the youth in our community, they know how to like fix a computer, or like, they can rewire stuff. And this is great work. I mean, unfortunately, it's like right now we're the ones that we're suffering, right? We're not like working, but when it is, there's steady work, there's steady flow. You're not just working at the LATC jam, you're working concerts. I mean, Kat, weren't you doing like fireworks stuff?
Yeah, I also do pyro. I like to blow things up. It just keeps on going. I do pyro, I do carpentry, I do rigging, I do lighting. And the coolest thing is when I first got into this industry, I was like, I want to do lighting. That's going to be the coolest thing ever. And I'm really excited. And then I started doing lighting, and then it just kept on going. And a lot of these things that you learn in theater, you can use that in real life. Like I've done things at home where I've used my drill, I've built some things, I've done some electrical work. So it's not just theater, it's theater is life, essentially, pretty much. Yeah. And that's another cool thing.
What was the last show event you worked on before? Oh, it's beautiful. Let's go around for this last final question. I have 2 questions left. But let's go around. Let's go with Ivan. What was the last show event you worked on before the closure? You can remember.
I don't know. I'm actually blanking. I can't remember. I was doing a lot of cleaning, a lot of organizing. It was kind of a little bit of downtime right before the closures, and we were actually gearing up to like change our decks on the stage, and we were right in the middle of pulling off the stage in Theater 2 or Lupin Tibero's theater. Yeah. So in Theater 1, so that's kind of still an itch we haven't scratched. It's still kind of undone. And so that's another thing I'm really looking forward to going back to.
JM?
The last show I worked on was, I think, a ballet the week before, and then I was there with them helping out the floor. I'm sure there's a video somewhere of that.
Oh, that's right.
I might have a picture I can send.
No, what's the last event show you were working before the closure?
I honestly can't remember. I just kind of lump them all together. I was on the board for something, I think.
I mean, that's the thing, right? There's so many, like we have, there's a lot of, not outside of the theater center, not outside of the theater spaces, we have the rehearsal rooms. A lot of you work, people can rent for films. I mean, we're a popular venue for films. So you also do that type of work, right? All of you have sort of worked in a film project, right? Within the LATC.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
See, so there's that. Kat, do you remember the last show event you worked?
Oh man, the last show I worked was a Laker game at Staples Center. That was the very last thing, but that was the last show. But the very, very last thing I worked on in theater was actually at the LATC. I was helping Wayne and Ivan and Jose Manuel tear apart the stage, and it was some good work. It felt really good to get really down and dirty. But last show was Lakers. Last gig was at the LATC. And what a way to like send off, right?
Yeah. Wayne, you remember your last show?
Yeah, the same. We were pulling up the floors in the theaters and the carpet upstairs.
We're getting up. Yeah, well, I mean, you were getting ready for our spring season. Gabe was mentioning that he was a charged scenic artist at OSF, but there's also the fair program at OSF. It's really cool. But COVID has put that on hiatus for the year, I think. So check out their website, OSF. This has been a wonderful conversation. Wayne, why is Wayne so lovable? What is one of the anybody can answer this? Who can answer this?
Yeah, that says a lot when nobody can answer.
No, I mean, we're at the end. How much time do we have? Like,
There's so many reasons we can't think of one.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's just he really brings you in, and he's willing to teach so much. So he's definitely something else, man. He's a different kind of person. So he really is admirable and lovable, right, Evelina?
I agree. When I had the opportunity to be there a couple months, not as I was doing my graphic design and the marketing stuff from within the technical office, but I learned patience, and that's one of the patience, and also passing on, a lot of the stuff that he learned, passing it on. And you all are a reflection of Wayne's leadership. And Wayne, that's a lot that's to say. And thank you for joining us. I know there was a lot of people that wanted you on. Wayne is not he doesn't talk much, but on camera, but behind the scenes, you can hear him.
If you're quiet long enough, you'll hear him sing.
Yeah.
We have the room though.
He's Godzilla or King Kong. We have a photo proof. We can find that as we wrap this up. Yeah, we'll find that Godzilla photo. But thank you so much. This has been awesome. How do you become strong like Wayne? You eat taco. But this is awesome. Thank you so much for joining us. We miss you all. We all want to be back in a theater like you all, and hopefully we get to soon. I'm gonna actually acknowledge this question because it's I think it's a good one. It's really cool. It says, as a lot of Latino kids don't know that the industry is out there for them. Yeah, thank you for all putting this together, hearing from different part of the theater world. Yeah, thank you, Catalina, for that.
Thank you.
That's a great way of ending it, even with this. It's really cool to see that. We don't get to see the tech. So one day I'll learn how to wrap a cable the right way. Until then, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. Any last words, anybody? Wayne, do you have any inspiring words you want to share with us?
No, sorry.
Thank you so much, and I can't wait to see you all backstage somewhere. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
You don't have